is how you can build the strongest Iuno in Wuthering Waves. This was recorded on the media server, so some stuff might change. Just check the pinned comment for updates. Alright, let's start off by simplifying her kit. Basic attack, 3-hit combo that does aero damage. You can do a basic attack and then hold your attack button to do the other two basic attacks. With their attack, consume stamina to do a plunging attack, dealing aero damage. Dodge counter, as always, you dodge attack, deal aero damage. You can press basic attack after successful dodge to do basic attack stage 3. Skill, so she has 4 types of skills. Let's start with a normal one first. Dash forward and deal aero damage. Enhanced skill number 1. So after you use her normal skill, intro or basic attack 3, her skill button gets enhanced for 5 seconds. So yep, it starts glowing and you have 5 seconds to press it. It does aero damage and puts her in her lunar cycle. It also makes her hair glow, as you can see the tips. Being a lunar cycle with a ring unlocks her second enhanced skill, which does aero damage. As for her third enhanced skill, it unlocks when you have her bow. It has 2 charges. When you use it, you dash forward, deal aero damage, considered as resonance liberation damage. You can choose the teleport direction in which she dashes by using her arrow keys. You can also use this attack if you get hit in midair to recover from the attack. Can you simplify her skills? So basically the first one is the normal one, which will unlock her enhanced skill. Her enhanced skill will put her in lunar cycle, which is her enhanced state. In her enhanced state, she has 2 weapons, the ring and the bow. Each of these weapons get their own skill. The bow has 2 charges on its skill. Ultimate, she does aero damage and enters her lunar cycle. Forte, this is the main part of her kit. Let's start with the lunar cycle first. How do you activate her lunar cycle? So she can activate her lunar cycle through her ultimate or through her enhanced skill. Again, you can unlock her enhanced skill by doing basic attack stage 3 and then use her skill, or intro and then use her skill, or just use her skill 2 times. So she has 2 lunar cycles, half moon and the new moon. To make it easier to understand, half moon is a ring thingy on the ground which you already use in her normal mode. You also have a half moon symbol in the middle of her foray. Outside of her lunar cycle, there is no glow in the middle, and the new moon is her new weapon, the bow in the air. You get this new moon symbol in the middle of her foray too. So yeah, pretty easy to remember. New weapon and old weapon, and you can always check the middle part of her foray. By default, you enter her half moon first, so the ring, but you can switch between her 2 modes by jumping. Your jump button will glow. Her midair bow mode consumes stamina and lets you move around freely, but you can't recover stamina in this state. What, did you really think that you'd get free permanent flight? The symbol above her foray is a timer for both of her modes, so once it disappears you go back to her normal mode. You can end her moon cycle early by just using utilities, interacting with the environment, or holding the jump button. Now let's get to what the different lunar cycles do. So what does half moon do? She attacks the enemy with her ring and each attack restores 40 stacks on hit. You can use your jump button to switch to new moon. It will do an initial hit of aero damage, considered as resonance liberation damage. What does her new moon do? Well, she uses her new weapon, the bow, to attack the enemy. Her attacks in this state are considered as resonance liberation damage. All of her attacks consume 40 stacks to increase her damage multipliers, restore conserve energy, and heal your team. You can go back to her ring mode by jumping. It does an initial hit of aero damage, considered as resonance liberation damage. So when do you use which mode and what are they used for? Well, her ring mode, the half moon, is used to charge her 40. So when you need 40 stacks, use that. And her new moon is used when you have 40 stacks and you want to heal the team, do more damage and fill her conserve bar. So when your conserve bar is full, her heavy attack gets replaced with Absolute Fullness. This is her domain expansion. It ends her lunar cycle, heals the whole team, and deals aero damage, considered as resonance liberation damage. And then you enter her full moon domain. You can only use this once every 25 seconds. So she stays on field for a bit. As you can see, she's watching us. And you get this moon symbol next to your character. She also changes the sky to a night sky with the moon. It doesn't matter what time it is. Augusta does the same thing with her enhanced ultimate. She changes the sky to daytime with the sun. And once you combine the two, you get this lovely sky. So what does her full moon domain do? It heals your whole team and restores their stamina. That healing scales with her attack, so the more attack you have, the better. Anyways, the main point of her domain is a blessing of the light 1 stacks. So every time a character in your team gets a shield, they gain 1 stack. You can trigger this once every 0.5 seconds. What does the blessing of the 1 light do? So every stack gives you a 4% all damage amp for 10 seconds, and you can get up to 10 stacks. So you have 40% all damage amp. Every time you get a new shield, the 10-second timer gets reset, but you lose all stacks if you switch your character. I know this sounds OP, but since Iuno can't give any of your teammates shields, your characters have to provide their own shields to get this buff. So there are only 2 characters who can use this buff to its max potential. Yep, Iuno, thanks to her enhanced skill number 1 and 2, and then Augusta. How do you get 40 stacks? She can have up to 140 stacks. You can get 40 from her intro skill, 60 from her ultimate, 25 from her enhanced skill. It lets her into lunar cycle, and then another 25 when you have her enhanced skill. In the lunar cycle, the ring, and then of course attacks from her half moon state, the ring attacks. Intro, do the aero damage. yup, that's it. Outro, she attacks a target, dealing 100% arrow damage, and gives the next character a 50% heavy attack damage amp, which is better than damage bonus for 14 seconds, or until the character switched out. So how do you activate a character's intro or outro? Well, if you look down here, each character has another bar called the conservo bar. You don't share it. Everyone gets their own conservo bar, and the value stays the same. When you change characters, you can fill up the conservo bar by hitting enemies with different attacks. So each attack gives you a different amount of conservo energy, which you can always see down here in the skill details. So yeah, ultimate gives 20, skill 15. You can always check it down here. And once you fill up the conservo bar all the way, all of your characters on the right will glow. And once you switch your character, the character who's leaving the field will activate their outro, and the character entering the field will activate their intro. Inherent skill number 1. The basic attacks, heavy attacks, dodge counters, skill, ultimate or intro skill gives her one shield equal to 32% of her attack for 15 seconds. The shield is only for her, not for your team. It's mainly there to activate her weapon effect here, her echo effect, and then of course her forte domain expansion. Inherent skill number 2. Intro or ultimate gives her 5 stacks of blessing of divine light, so you'll only need 5 more for her max buffs. If you're confused right now, then don't worry, you'll understand her a lot better once we get to her rotations. So when it comes to her skill priority, her 4 is the most important one. I mean, almost everything is right here. Make sure to max this as high as you can. And then we have her nuke, the ultimate, 1000%. So yeah, these two are the most important ones, and what you'll be using most of the time if you use your sub DPS. Next, we have the skill. This can be good too. Basic attacks are worth leveling if you use your main DPS. As for the intro, well, it doesn't really contribute much to be worth the weekly boss match. I would leave it at 6. When it comes to her weapons, well, it's no surprise, her signature weapon is her best weapon overall, her best in slot. 36% crit rate, so they had to lower the attack to 500, which is still pretty good. I mean, you also get the extra attack from here. And then the defense ignore is pretty good too. Next, we have Xiangliao's weapon, good crit rate, some arrow damage, and the ultimate damage bonus is pretty good too. If you have this weapon, then you can honestly just skip her signature weapon. Unless you're playing her as a main DPS, then yeah, go for her signature weapon instead. But as a sub DPS, it's more than enough. Next, we have the rest of the faster limited weapons. They're just statistics, like Sunny's signature weapon, 40% crit damage, some attack from here, and then the 8% defense ignore. Next we have Rocha's weapon. The crit rate is pretty good, the attack here too, but yeah, you're mainly using these two for their substats here. Next you have the battle pass weapons. So if you have both of them at rank 5, then the new one is better if you're playing her as a sub DPS, but if you're playing her as a main DPS, then yeah, the old one is better, and the standard faster gauntlet. But yeah, the sub DPS, this is her best one. And then this is her second best one. And something to keep in mind about the stoner is that you need to keep on using her skill to get a liberation damage bonus. And something to keep in mind, guys, is that these two are only better than the standard 5-star gauntlet if you have them at rank 5, not at rank 1. So yeah, next we have the standard 5-star gauntlet. And then after that, the battle pass weapons if you have them at rank 1, so no extra copies. Now let's get to the free to play options. Okay, I have none of them. So the best one is the rank 5, Celestial Spire. Next we have the Hollow Mirage at rank 5. Then finally the craftable Legend of the Drunken Hero. So this can be better than her other free to play options. If you're playing her in a team with Ciaccona and Aero Rover, and she's your main DPS, because of the negative status, use the damage comparison between all of her weapons. It mainly depends on her role in the team, main DPS or sub DPS, and of course her teammates. When it comes to her Echo set, you have 4 options. So the best one overall is the 3-piece Crown of Valor set, since you can activate the set effect thanks to her shield. And then since this is a 3-piece Echo set, you'll need 2 pieces of another set. So you can use the 2 piece of any of these arrow sets, like this one here, Sierra Gale, piece arrow damage bonus. And then these 2 arrow sets here, they also give 10% arrow damage bonus. It doesn't matter which one you use, they all give the same arrow damage bonus. Lingering tunes can work too. I mean, the attack here, not bad. But if you're playing her as a main DPS in a full Aero team, Ciaccona and Aero Rover, then the Windward Pilgrimage set can work too, since your team is applying Aero Erosion. You can also use this set as a placeholder. I mean, you'll need 2 pieces of this set anyways for her best set, the Crown of Valor. I recommend reusing your 3 costs, since these are the hardest to farm. In the Zani Phoebe team, you can also use the Rejuvenating Glow set, since she can heal the whole team. And then finally, the best set for the new players who don't have a 5-star weapon for her, or good stats, the Moonlit Cloud set. If you're playing her as a sub DPS, then yeah, this set is almost as good as her best in slot set, the Crown of Valor. So if you're a new player with no 5-star weapon or good stats on your echoes, then just give her this set. As for the 4 cost, on the Crown of Valor set, you want to give her the Lady of the Sea. And then when it comes to Windward Pilgrimage set, you want the 3 cost Curastor as your main echo, so right here, since it boosts arrow damage and resistance liberation damage, which is most of Iuno's damage. Make sure you have this in your main slot, so right here, the Fallacy of No Return on the Rejuvenating Glow set, and your best friend the Heron on the Moonlit Cloud set. When it comes to the Echo Main set, it's the usual. You want crit damage or crit rate it on your full cost. It depends on your weapon. I mean, her signature weapon already gives her 36% crit rate, so yeah, keep that in mind. Double arrow on your 3 cost echoes, or arrow plus attack until you get a second arrow piece. As for 1 cost, you only have an option. Yup, double attack. When it comes to substats, as a main DPS, she doesn't really need much ER since she has more field time. But if you're using her as a sub DPS and are good with the rotations, then 110% ER should be fine. But if you want to play it safe, then I would recommend 120%. ER is pretty important on her because her ultimate is a really important part of her rotation. And then we have the usual crit damage and crit rate, attack and attack percent. Most of her damage is liberation damage, so it's really good too, especially if you don't have a weapon with it. Then yeah, it's even better to have the extra liberation damage rolls. When it comes to recommended stats, you want 1900 attack, 70% crit rate to 40% crit damage, 110% to 120% ER depending on your playstyle, and 30% liberation damage bonus. When it comes to teams, she can heal, shield, and be the main damage dealer. So for her best team, where she amplifies characters who do heavy attack damage, like Augusta, Iuno, and Shorekeeper. So this is one of the best teams in the game, pretty close to Cartethia's team. And then we have Qiuyuan's best team, Qiuyuan, Iuno, and then Ciaccona. This team is pretty strong, you know, Qiuyuan with the AoE. If you don't have Ciaccona, then you can use Verena or the Shorekeeper, but Aero Rover can work too. So the reason why Iuno is better than Morifi, even though Morifi has more buffs, is because she does more damage. But keep in mind that her weapon really helps in these teams, Zani, Phoebe, and Iuno as the healer with the rejuvenating glow set. So this team exists, but I honestly would not recommend it. I would rather use Spectre Rover or Shorekeeper here instead. If you don't have Zani, then you can play main DPS Phoebe with Iuno and Ciaccona or Rover. Yeah, I don't know how Phoebe has so many teams. Now let's get to the main DPS Iuno teams. So as the main DPS, she's actually pretty good. I mean, main DPS Iuno comes pretty close to the Qiuyuan Iuno team, but Qiuyuan has AoE and grouping, so yeah, that might be better in some modes. Alright, so DPS Iuno, sub DPS Ciaccona, or if you're a returning player, then you can use Yinlin because her outer gives liberation damage amp. But yeah, like most Yinlin teams, there's someone better. So yep, Ciaccona. I mentioned Yinlin because today's her birthday, so yeah, give her a happy birthday in the comments. If you have Jinhsi in S2 or S6, then yeah, she's pretty good too, but not better than Ciaccona. As for the healer, the usual Verena, Shorekeeper, but Aero Rover can work too. I mean, he's pretty good in a full arrow team, thanks to his sword buffing arrow damage for the whole team. Let's quickly go over her sequences. So S1, when she's in a lunar cycle, her attack is increased by 40%. She also restores 1 energy per second in her domain. Her 2 enhanced arrow skills and her heavy attack that unlocks her domain become immune to interruption. S2, characters in your team with the 10 1 stacks get another 40% all damage amp, so you have 80% in total, but this will only benefit her and Augusta for now. S3, her bow attack's damage is amplified by 65% and you don't reset her basic attack cycle. S4, her enhanced heavy attack that unlocks her domain gives the whole team a shield equal to 160% of Iuno's attack for 30 seconds. S5, Iuno gets a 20% liberation damage bonus. S6, damage multiplier of her enhanced heavy attack that unlocks her shield domain is increased by 1600%. So yep, this thing becomes a nuke. She can also enter her lunar cycle after uses attack, which will also give her 140 stacks and reset the cooldown of her 2 bow enhanced skills, so you can spam them again. This will change her rotation. So I would personally stop at S3 since S4 and S5 they don't add as much. So only go for these two if you're going for her S6. When it comes to her rotations, I have like 6 different rotations that I could show you guys, but that would confuse you. More will help you, so I'll just combine them and show you the 2 best ones. Let's start with the sub DPS rotation first. So we start with her intro first for the 40-40 stacks, ultimate for the 60-40 stacks, and we're in lunar cycle now. Since our 40 is maxed, we can switch to the bow mode. So jump, do 3 basic attacks to use up your 40 stacks, and 2 skills to fill up her conservator bar. Once her conservator bar is full, you can use Absolute Fullness with a heavy attack. If you're using her with Augusta, Phoebe, or you need the extra healing, or you can just swap off her. When it comes to her main DPS rotation at S0 to S5, you don't use the Absolute Fullness since it barely does any damage. You only want to use it at S6 because it goes from being 160 at level 10 to an extra 1600 at S6. As for the damage amp from it, well, she and Augusta are the only one who can use it to its max potential. I mean, you can use it with Phoebe too if you need the extra stamina, but this is her DPS team, so yeah, no worries. Alright, so we start with the intro first, and then use her skill, and then jump so that you can use her bow. You then do 3 basic attacks, use 1 skill. As soon as it fires, we cancel it with her ultimate to get some 40 stacks and reset the timer. We then do 3 basic attacks, use her last skill, 3 basic attacks again, and swap off her on her 3rd basic attack. This is her S6 main DPS rotation. When it comes to the echoes, you can use Lady of the Sea Echo whenever you want, since it doesn't really interrupt her rotation, but you can't use the Heron Echo while you're in midair. So I use it after I use her skill, which puts her in lunar cycle, before I press the jump button to switch to the bow. So she worth pulling. Well, if you're watching this, then you probably already pulled her. And to be honest, she's pretty good. I mean, she can be played both as a main DPS and a sub DPS. Being a healer also gives her more value. As a sub DPS, she doesn't really need as much when it comes to building her. But with a new character drip marketing, I wouldn't blame you if you're saving for them instead. Especially if you can already clear endgame with Morifi. I mean, she might get more value in the future if they release more shield character that can trigger her domain's 40% damage amp. But let's be honest here, it doesn't matter what I say. You probably already pulled her because of her feat. If you're still missing asteroids, then don't worry. Crew Games gave us extra codes to give away. You can join our Discord server, link in the pinned comment, and then go to the giveaway channel there to join the giveaway. They gave us a lot of codes, so yeah, I'll have to give away some every few weeks now. And you can also get a free to play or forced to pay tag on our Discord server for free just by joining. You can use this tag everywhere. You can join our Discord server if you need help with anything in the game. You can ping the game helper role and you won't ever miss free asteroid codes or events, or if you need help farming echoes. If this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing, and yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and thank you so much for watching.